this is for my lab 3.3. For my prediction, I put agriculture at the bottom because in our introduction it said that it is a monoculture, and that means it's only supposed to have one species. And then for my top diversity, I put tropical because we've been learning in the chapters that we've been reading that there's a lot of species in the tropics. And my second, I put grassland because I figured that's the second amount of species. And for my third, I put as a desert because there's usually not a lot of animals or species, but there is more than the agricultural. So the results were the same as my hypothesis, but tropical, grassland, and desert was closer related than I thought they were going to be, and agricultural was on the way other scale. And for the second question, is the agricultural field truly a monoculture? I would say it's not, because a monoculture is supposed to only have one species, and since it had some yellow and green beans, that meant that there was two other species in there. So therefore, technically, this culture had 3 species, and then that would not make it a monoculture. Even though there's 50 of the brown and only 4 of the yellow and green, it still has different species. To lose some diversity in a culture is if there's a lot of one, like in the agriculture. If there's a lot of one species, it's going to be less diverse because there cannot be as many as the other ones. And on the opposite, if there is the same amount of, say, 3 species, and they have 4 of those, and then one species only has 1, then the diversity is going to go down a lot because of that. And to increase the biodiversity, you could have either a lot of animals like closely related, like say you have 20 different species and they range from 2 to 4, that would be pretty diverse. Or to have the most diverse thing, you would have, say you had 3 species and you had 3 of each, and that would be completely diverse. On the forest question, if you cut down all of them and then replanted it with one tree, either some species couldn't adapt to that, like we read that some of the babies couldn't eat certain deals on the tree, so if they couldn't eat the tree that was planted, then they couldn't adapt and they would soon die off, or they might adapt, so then animals would change. Other plant species, some might be in competition with this new tree, so they might die off, or they might have to change somehow to stay alive. I don't think the fate for that question will be the same for every animal, because some animals might already have adapted to that tree, so then it wouldn't be as bad. But some animals, I think it will affect them a lot more than other animals. Some animals might die off, but some animals could thrive because of that type of tree might fit their